So a truly remarkable match here at the Wanderers. India somehow managing to win this match, and the series is now tied at 1 apiece with 3 to play. Joining me now, former South Africa captain Kepler Wessels. Kepler, what did you make of that?
Well, it was a sensational game. South Africa were on top all the way through. After losing the toss, they restricted India well, they bowled beautifully, they fielded well, and they really should have won the game. For probably 80% of the game, they were right on top.
For South Africa, the batting really let them down today. Take Graeme Smith out of it, they really were poor, weren't they?
Well, they were. There were some unnecessary dismissals. JP Duminy in particular had the game by the scruff of the neck, and it was a soft dismissal, and that got South Africa under a bit of pressure. And from there, you got to give credit to India. They just hung in there. Harbhajan Singh bowled quite beautifully. They got wickets when they needed to, and in the end, they pulled off a most unlikely victory.
No Boucher, no Kallis. Is there a bit of a leadership issue, do you think, for South Africa?
Well, it's an experience issue, particularly Kallis, but hopefully he'll come back for the World Cup. So that's something South Africa need to look at, whether they need some more experience in that middle order at that number 6 position. So that's certainly something for them to think about.
And a bit of patience perhaps in some of the batting?
Well, definitely. I mean, the run rate was never a problem. All it needed was just a few calm heads to prevail, knocking the ball around, waiting for the bad delivery, and getting partnerships going. So South Africa will be disappointed. They'll know that they had this one won and they gave it away.
India didn't complete their overs. That's kind of the ultimate sin. But South Africa, they had, what, more than 6 overs left to play, didn't they?
Well, it was always going to be a case of India would not be able to restrict South Africa. They had to bowl them out, and that's exactly what happened. So that's why, from South Africa's point of view, they'll be even more disappointed, because they were never really under pressure as far as run rate was concerned. It was just a case of trying to see out about 45 overs, and they had the game won.
From the India side, they'll obviously take quite a lot of heart from the fighting spirit shown, won't they?
Well, they will, and they were dead and buried. And we also have to remember they're playing with a subcontinent combination under South African conditions. So if they can pull off a win in South Africa with the combination they're playing now, they're even more likely to do so during the World Cup at home. So they'll take a lot from this win. And as I said, I think South Africa will be a bit disappointed.
What do you make of Dhoni's captaincy today?
Well, his captaincy on the field is normally pretty good. He stays calm, he uses his bowlers pretty well, he motivates his troops. So yeah, pretty strong leader on the field.
In the Test series so far and the one-dayer so far, we've had some very good quality, but there was a lack of quality today, wasn't there?
A little bit, I suppose, but that made the game interesting. So we've had a fantastic summer. The teams have played really well, they've competed very well, and it's been exciting cricket all the way through. And that's what you expect, because they are 2 of the top teams in world cricket. So you expect a good, honest contest, and that's what we're getting.
For the positive for South Africa, I suppose, Graeme Smith finally getting some runs. He'll obviously take a lot of confidence from that.
Yeah, he needed to get a score. He hasn't got a score since that first innings of the first Test match, so it'll help him a lot. And I also think from South Africa's point of view, their bowling's been very good and their fielding's been excellent.
Do you think it's a case of history repeating? Similarities here to the Test series, wasn't it, with India losing the first match so convincingly and coming back?
It is a little bit, and I know South Africa were determined not to lose that ruthless streak. They wanted to really cement that first victory that they had, but now it sets it up pretty well. We go to Cape Town from here, we go to Port Elizabeth. Those surfaces should suit India better than the first 2 they played on, so I think we're in for a real cracker now.
I was going to say, yeah, what are your thoughts for the next 3 matches?
Well, you still have to back South Africa to win it in the end under South African conditions, simply because the bowling is pretty good and their fielding solid as well. So I think over a 5-match series at home, you've got to back the Proteas.